Welcome to DASHTALK, the official podcast. And today on this episode, we're going to be speaking about who I am, what Dash Life is about, and just talking about the entire Dash Life community and Dash Life LLC. And so, first, I want to let y'all in on who I am and why what I do is important to me. I'm Myron McGee. I'm a certified public speaker, and I'm the owner and founder of Dash Life LLC. Dash Life LLC is a company that helps inspire people, bring hope, and help move people forward and help people that are in struggles or that's been through struggles, deliver their story, give them a platform for that. And so, for the people that don't know, DASH is actually an acronym, and the most, I would say, famous acronym is Devastate the Naysayers, Accelerate on the Path to Success, Strengthen Your Mind and Body, Humble Yourself and Your Haters. And I came up with that while in prison. I was formerly incarcerated for 7 years, and my last year in prison, I started doing speaking. And a brother came up to me, he told me, you got influence over the wing. You and your younger guys, because it's a younger crowd, you should start speaking more. And so I took him up on it. And me and my guys, we got together and we started speaking every week, doing weekly processing. And weekly processing was a time on the weekend where all 72 guys in the wing got together to either talk about situations that went on, problems that they had, and also give some kind of enlightenment. And so we started doing that, and it started flowing. Me and my guys would put a word up, and everybody like, we like it, it's going good, we like what's going on. But in prison, how things go, people start going to the hole, getting kicked out the wing, they might have transferred, all type of stuff just going on, and it's like, man, now I'm just by myself up here, but I kept pushing. And so the thing that really sparked Dash Life was after one weekly processing, I was talking to a guy, and he was like, man, you just made a difference in my life. You just really like changed my whole perspective on some things. And I'm like, man, this is a grown man straight telling me like I made a difference in his life. And the feeling that I got when he told me that, I'll never forget that feeling. And they talk about like drugs and stuff like that, like the endorphins and the dopamine that go through. And it was like the excitement, the dopamine, whatever it was, the endorphins that happened when I heard that, and I stayed looking for that feeling, because it's like, it's so powerful when I'm able to help somebody else out, and it's not about getting something in return for it. It's about just pushing forward. And actually, Dash Life started off as something for the youth, to help impoverished and at-risk youth. But at the time, by being in prison, I couldn't get to the youth and talk to them. So I figured, you know what? I'm gonna start making posts. And I had my aunt making posts on my Facebook and doing daily quotes, because if I can reach the parents and I can let the parents know that I'm trustworthy and that I'm someone that they want their children around, then I can get to the youth eventually. I just had to go through a different means. I had to take a different path. And so now it's to the point where Dash Life is starting to really take off. Doing my first show, I've done a couple events, but I'm doing my first solo show. It's a Dashinar, which is a seminar, but it's by Dash Life. And so I was doing the podcast because this first podcast, I wanted to let everybody know the man that I am and what it's all about. what you actually buying into, what you supporting. And so I had a few questions that people asked, and one of the questions was, what motivates you now that didn't motivate you before? And I had to think on that for a nice little minute. But the thing that it came down to, one of the main things that it came down to for me was, what motivates me now is helping people. You know, I just was talking about that feeling that I get from helping people, but what motivates me now is to make a difference. I remember in the past, I used to want to be rich and really wealthy for me, for selfish reasons. I wanted to party, I wanted to have fun, I just wanted to be able to do whatever I want to do. Now, it's about building a community to where I can actually make a difference. I want somebody to say, that guy right there, he made a difference, he changed something. And that's what it's all about for me. And so that's what motivates me now that didn't motivate me in the past, because in the past I really didn't care who else was getting helped out. I just cared about my wealth, my riches. And now I'm willing to share that, or I want to share that with others, because I want to build others up with me. And another one of the questions that was asked was it really a mindset change, or was it a no choice situation, in reference to the mindset that I have now versus the mindset that I had before I went to prison? And I believe it was a combination of both, because my mindset changed, but it was because I didn't have a choice but to change my mindset. Because while in prison for my first 6 years, I still was just trying to think like a criminal and beat the system, get around the easiest way. Instead of having integrity and doing the right thing when nobody's looking, I was just trying to sneak. In my last year, I started taking programs, I started discovering myself, I started to learn about myself and gain self-awareness. And I was like, man, I can't have that mindset. I can't go out here back to the streets and have the mindset that, you know what, I'm gonna do whatever I can and not get caught. Nah, I'm gonna do it the right way so that I don't have to worry about getting caught, and I can build with my family. And it was really like the mindset changed, but I didn't have a choice, because prison is no longer an option for me. That 7 years was long enough. I will never see the inside of another prison unless I'm going to speak, because I know that I don't have a choice but to do that, because I got people that need me. I got people that need to use me. And so I got a gift that I need to share. And so I didn't have a choice, and my mindset did change. So it was a combination of both with that question. And then one of the last questions was, so what am I gonna do with Dash Life Force, with the youth, going to detention centers, i.e., et cetera, different stuff like that. And actually I plan on doing multiple Dash-Nars, just doing like a tour of those. And right now it's a free event. Eventually it'll change from that. But I'm speaking for the Father and Family Support Center on February 18th. I'm gonna be doing something for them. And so it's a trivia night, and I'll be speaking there. So that's something that I'm doing with that. Also, one of my guys called me from Charleston, Southeast Correctional Center in Missouri, and he said that he thinks the prison is planning on bringing some people in to the prison to speak. And so he called me, he was like, man, I know you're doing your thing. You need to get on the line with them and see what's up with that. And so I plan on going back and speaking to them as well, because even though the youth are the main focus, it's got to be somebody that help the youth. It got to be somebody that mold them. They have to have role models. And it's a lot of good guys in prison that just made bad decisions. And so my whole thing is to help them once they come home, help them with the transition. Because even though for me, people see it and they like, oh, you doing your thing, I see you every day, you motivating and you inspiring people, and you always got your smile on and stuff. The transition not easy though, you know. I had to refocus because I got out and I thought it was gonna be something that it wasn't. I thought I was gonna get out and boom, Dash Life gonna be booming. Everybody gonna be supporting it because it's positive stuff, help do this, and that's not what happened. You know, I got out and yeah, it's doing good and it's positivity, but it's not as big as I want it to be. And so I kind of got unfocused. I started spending money reckless, just eating out fast food, different stuff like that, not doing as much reading because I would say I don't have enough time, but really I'm not making enough time because the time that I'm sitting there scrolling on TikTok for 30 minutes, going back and forth from TikTok to Facebook for 30 minutes, I could be reading for that 30 minutes before I gotta go to work, or sitting in the car on lunch break. I could be doing something with that time, but instead I was focusing it somewhere else. So my main thing is to help guys transition home and stay focused and remain focused to where, okay, look, it's not gonna be easy. But as I like to say, it's simple. And just because something is simple doesn't mean that it's not gonna be hard to do, but it's a simple solution to everything. You come home, you wanna be a better man, go get you a job. Find a good job, work that job for a minute. Find you a niche, and then start doing that. Whether it's YouTubing, selling lemonade, whatever you're doing, do something to bring in multiple incomes legally. That way, you don't have to worry about money. And then put yourself around a good support system, because a lot of guys come home and they not as blessed as I was, to where I came home and I have an amazing support system. My dad helped me get a car as soon as I got out. My mom gave me a place to stay. My dad also hooked me up with my mentor, Mr. Slaughter. He took me down to the Father and Family Support Center, got me classes doing that, and it helped me to stay focused, because the 6 weeks while I was in the Father and Family Support Center, it gave me something to do during that time. I didn't have idle time. I got off work, got a few hours of sleep, then went to the Father and Family Support Center. Chill for maybe 2 hours after I get out of class, and now I gotta go back to work. So my schedule was jam-packed. And so instead of getting right out and running wild and doing whatever I wanted to do out in the streets, I didn't have time for that. And so I wanna just show guys how to pack their schedule like that. Don't pack your schedule with stuff that's not beneficial. Don't pack your schedule with stuff that's not gonna uplift you or the people around you. Pack your schedule with stuff that keeps you busy and keeps you moving forward. You know, I heard people talk about motion, and it's good to have motion, but just because you're in motion don't mean you're moving forward. You want to make sure you're moving forward when you're moving with that motion. Always going forward, going up. It should never be a standstill or moving backwards, because once you move backwards just like a couple inches, if you backslide, it's gonna be so hard to get them couple inches back. And I've seen it happen, I watched it happen. And so that's I know I went a little long with that question, but that's how I answer that question. That's the thing that I'm gonna do. And I plan on doing peace rallies as well, or dash rallies, different stuff like that. It's just a matter of time of getting it done and making it happen. But it's gonna be a lot of stuff with the youth that I'm gonna do for mentoring, bringing them out, doing different dash for them. And so that's what my plan is with that. It was something else that I wanted to speak about. Somebody asked me a question. Oh, I know this kind of off on a whole different avenue. One of the other questions was, am I single? Yes, I am. I'm single, but I'm working on myself right now. You know, I'm the type that I really would love to have someone to come home to all the time and stuff like that, because I'm very affectionate. At the same time, I have to work on me, and I'm a major believer in that everything happens for a reason, and it's perfect. Everything is perfect timing. So when the time comes, it's gonna come, and when the right person show up, they're gonna show up. So I'm not really actively looking like that, but if it happened, then I'm gonna be more than excited about it. So yeah, at the moment I am single for that reason, just working on me and building. I do still work out. I know somebody was asking me, am I still working out? Because in prison, I was doing my thing every day. Sometimes it's 7 days a week. And now it's not as often, but I do still work out, keep my body in shape, try to remain healthy, and just look fit, because that's another thing that's coming about. I'm gonna keep that under wraps for y'all, but it is gonna be a fitness line in a little bit. Dash Life got a lot of big things coming up, so y'all stay tuned for that. And with Dash Life, we're gonna be doing more podcasts. Dash Talk, the show, and it's disturbing, also stimulating, humorous talk. And my thing about Dash Talk is to bring up topics that people usually don't want to talk about, or they find kind of sketchy, and it's like, oh, do I want to really talk about that? But it's still stuff that could be humorous, it could be stimulating, at the same time all disturbing. So that's what Dash Talk is all about. I'm gonna be bringing other entrepreneurs on, other artists, bring them in and let them tell their story, and we're gonna get into more stuff like that. And that's the plan for Dash Talk. That's the plan for 2023 and 2024. When 2024 come around, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, man, I remember dude was just like down here and now it's up here. But don't make the mistake like I just did and say dude was down there. Say they was, because I'm bringing people with me. That's what I'm doing. I'm bringing people with me. It's not a solo dolo act. I couldn't do none of this. I couldn't do none of this by myself. That was the heat coming on, I guess. That almost scared me, boy. I didn't know what was going on. You know, that's one thing too. Like, I'm glad that just happened though, because like I said, everything happened for a reason. Getting out of prison, certain stuff still affects you. Like, I heard noises or I heard certain stuff, and it's like, what's that? I'm checking, like, to make sure I ain't in no type of danger or there ain't no fight or flight type situation or what's going on. And it's like, you're not in that environment no more. You know, I was at work and I made a joke, but the girl didn't really take it like how I meant it, because I was like, she was walking behind me and I looked back and I told her, yeah, I had looked back because I was just making sure that nobody run up on me or nothing like that. She's like, up here, you think somebody gonna do? And I'm like, no, that ain't the case. But that's something that, you know, in prison, you really do trip off of. Like, it was a joke, but it was coming from a serious place. Like, you hear somebody walking behind you, like, I picked up on people that don't pick up their feet. I used to walk around all the time in my slides and my feet just like that, and it's like, dog, pick up your feet. Man, you couldn't have snuck up on nobody, or I'd have heard you coming from a mile away. And it's stuff like that that just, like, now it's embedded in my mind. Pick your feet up when you walk. I heard somebody else not picking their feet up. I'm like, dang, they clumsy. Or, you know, it's just certain stuff like that. And so prison still does affect us. And so if you have loved ones that's been in the prison system and they come home, support them, give them so much support, because the effects linger on. And some, it don't show as much, but it's definitely there. Like, people will see me and some people talk to me and they're like, oh, if you ain't tell me, I would never thought you was in prison. And I'm like, yeah, that's a good thing, but at the same time, it's small stuff, like I was just saying, like picking up your feet. I heard it, keys jangling. I look around, man, CO finna come around. Ain't no CO. Like stuff like that. So, man, I'm just working on getting better. I want to introduce y'all to me, let y'all know who I am, what I'm about, what my plans are, where we headed with Dash Life. And it's gonna be a major thing. So make sure y'all continue to tune in to DASHTALK podcast, and we're gonna make it major, man. 2023 gonna be a major year. How long was that?